So this area here is restricted, no ORVs, but I see that someone has tore those signs down. They're probably laying on the ditch there, or they ran off with them. I don't know how far I can go down here.
Oh my goodness. We need to tell everyone this normally is smooth.
As a trail groomer, we come in and try to grade this, but we grade it for the snowmobiles. Our money comes from the snowmobile monies and not from the ORV monies. And so we don't come in here in the summer and do it. We do it just before the snowmobile season opens. And then this trail here is so rocky that we really can't grade it very well, because we only grade with the same equipment we use to grade the snow. And so if there's rocks in it, we can't use it. It's got to be just plain dirt, otherwise it'll wreck those blades. They're not grader blades.
I should say also, if the groomer gets wrecked, it costs $2,000 just to get it to the place where they can repair it. $2,000 hauling fee.
Are you sure you want to go down here? This is hard on my truck. I'm sorry, Laura, I gotta turn around. I can't get on this. This is even worse than what I was on today.
Oh, is that right? This isn't even fun for ATVs, I would imagine.
Only if their suspension's made for like a motorcycle, so they got real long travel.
This would be like a bad snowmobile trail on a bad day.
Well, this translates right up in through the snow. If we can't get this smoothed off, then it'll be rough like this for the snowmobiles too. You have to have a lot of snow to cover this, and still where the snow is deep, it'll be softer than it is where it's shallow. And so this will just, every time you groom it, it'll come back like this just in a couple hours with a few snowmobiles on it.
Look at how did you notice how the dirt had been pushed up into the grass? Like here. You don't reclaim that.
Well, the problem I have with this spot right here is that it's not going to get graded. DNR's not going to grade it because it's not an ORV trail. So there's no monies to grade it, because the ORVs have tore down the signs and have used this trail as if it were an ORV trail, but it's not. This is part of Camp Grayling, and Camp Grayling has no ORV signs up on their trails.
When he says Camp Grayling, he's talking about the National Guard base. Let's go see how, you want to see how they're going into Lewiston is?
Tell me what you're telling me so I'll know what you're saying.
So, go left past our driveway.
Oh, Trail 47.
Yeah.
Well, I know how that is.
So you still,
And that part's legal to take an ORV on.
and it's maintained by Lewiston, not Grayling.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Their money still comes from snowmobile. So if it's graded, DNR has to pay to have it graded, and they have to pay somebody else to have it graded. It's not supposed to use the snowmobile equipment. We maintain the trails for snowmobiles, not for ORVs. You know, people have a hard time with that, and I guess I did it first too. But it's a different pot of money. All the equipment was bought out of the snowmobile money fund and not out of the ORV money fund. I don't know what it costs to put ORV stickers on, but our snowmobile stickers are, what, $52 this year?
Yep.
And our season is only, well, last year we might have got 2-3 weeks. So you pay a lot of money for what little you're gonna ride. I don't, you guys, well, if you guys come out and mess up our trails, what's happening last year? The ORVs would come out on the snowmobile trails and totally destroy them. Plus, a lot of guys with Jeeps and stuff like that would want to come out. We would groom the trail, and then those guys would come out and ride on them. Legally, I think it's probably legal. Ethically, it's a bad thing.
Now, we're not against ORVs, but we are for following the law.
Well, and we're for, if it's legal for the ORVs to be on it, then DNR or whoever should be having it taken care of.
Now, we're still on the trail. The trail runs along F97 or Lovell's Road. Whoa.
So I know over on Trail 79, it is graded. DNR pays to have that graded. Plus, just before snowmobile season, we take our equipment down it too, because it's legal for ORVs to be on that. But even if the ORVs weren't on it, we would still take our equipment down it to get it ready for the snowmobile season. This year doesn't look too bad compared to what we were just on.
So would Lewiston be grading this summer?
I hope they're not grading it with the snowmobile equipment. They're not supposed to. But this will never hold up for snowmobiling. These curves need to be flattened out. The trail needs to be flat for snowmobiling.
That's a new sign. Stay on trail.
You mean new there?
Yeah.
We've got them all over.
Yep.
See, this curve needs to be flattened out. It's banked, and you really can't groom it right. It needs to be flat, so the groomer can flatten it, keep the snow flat on it. But this is in a lot better shape than Camp Grayling Trail, because it's probably been graded. It's still not good enough for a snowmobile trail, though.
Does it, when it's banked like this, doesn't it push the snow up and off to the outside of the curve?
Yep.
And then you end up...
But you can't, you think about that the groomer is as wide as this trail. What's going to happen when it goes around that corner? It can't, there's no snow there. There's not enough snow for it to flatten it out. So you have to flatten the dirt out at the before the season starts, and then you can keep the snow flat.
I wish they'd level that bump out, because that is there during snowmobile season.
Well, when there's a lot of rocks, it's hard to grade it.
Yeah.
Because our equipment isn't made to grade like a road grader. It'll pull the loose soil, it'll pull just fine. And then some areas, like on the corners, we can use the front blades to pull that back in. But the front blades aren't bulldozer blades either. They're made to push snow. They will push a certain amount of dirt, but soft dirt, not hard dirt.
Yeah, this is nice.
See, they've had to put the stay right signs up because people don't stay right. Which is the rule for you snowmobilers. And you RVers also. You stay to the right of the trail. Just like you do on the road.
If you just noticed, we passed a sign that said 47-30. For those people that are new snowmobiling, some trails are marked like that every mile, so that if there was ever an accident, it would help to be able to tell emergency vehicles a more exact location where you're at so they can come out and get you if they need to. So try to pay attention to those when you're snowmobiling, and so you know kind of exactly where you are at all times.
The 47 is the trail number. The other number is the more or less mile marker, but they aren't really accurate mile-wise. They're a good approximation though.
Yep.
But that's exactly what they are. They're emergency trail locators. And I've seen them used when the 911's called and they had to come out. Lady was having an episode with epilepsy.
Yeah. See, this is one of those blind curves that you absolutely have to stay over on your own side.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have to kick into four-wheel drive.
No, it's just going to beat us to death. This is the time of year we start brushing. You can see how this tree right ahead of us, sticking out into the trail, was probably grew 2 foot this past year. So the snowmobilers probably won't hit it, but the tractor that cost $125,000 to $250,000 will be running right through those limbs. So we cut those limbs so they don't wreck the tractors, and down low, of course, so that the snowmobilers aren't hitting it, slapping them in the face when they come flying through here.
Didn't you say this morning you came on a trail where there was a tree down all the way across?
Several.
So they're out there this time of year in the fall, cutting trees up.
We had a big storm 2 weeks ago and knocked all kinds of trees down. So later this week we'll be going out and clearing a lot of it up. Plus there are a lot of washouts, and so it's going to cost a lot of money. But we're getting a front end loader to come in and try to clean some of those washouts up. But it can't grade all this. We don't have a road grader to do it.
Oh, man. What do they call those? A white. That tree's ready to come down.
Oh, no. Widowmakers.
A widowmaker.
And the little orange triangles alongside, or diamonds alongside the trail, are called confidence markers. And that's so you have confidence to know that you're still on the trail.
I didn't know that. They must have logged this section off a couple years ago, because you see all these young popple trees starting to shoot up. And they're usually the first ones that start growing after they've been logged. Now see, that's a branch that's got to come down. Oh.
I don't know how this is going to work on the video because my camera compensates for shaking. But I don't think I can compensate this much, but we are really shaking.
Yeah, we're like in a boat going next to a freighter, or a canoe going next to a freighter. And how fast are we going? 2 miles?
Well, less than 5 miles an hour, because it's between 0 and 5. I got a chainsaw and back. I have to check on that stuff before we get back on the road and make sure nothing got messed up. And the chainsaw's back there for keeping the trails clear.
Look at this big tip.
So I'm watching for bear tracks, but I didn't see any this morning. I don't see any here, but the bear hunters were out this morning.
Wow, look at how much that's grown up. That'll make good deer.
Browse.
Yeah, but good places for them to hide. We haven't had too many deer around here the last few years because so much of the land had been stripped of trees and, you know, logged. But now it's all starting to grow up. Are those white birch? No. Nope, no sir.
It looks like white birch to me.
Well, they're not peeling.
Well, they might not be. Maybe just aspen.
Yeah, they're aspen.
Looks like white birch though.
This was all woods at one time, wasn't it?
I'm sure. Not since I've been up here though.
Oh.
This would actually be hard to walk on.
Yeah.
This is pretty smooth right here.
Good horseback riding trail,
I don't know, the horses are trip.
except for the rocks. We were avid horseback riders. We rode our horses from Lake Michigan to Lake Huron in 2 weeks, and we camped all the way.
By the way, one of the ladies on the way home from church, she posted on Facebook that there was some horses and buggies there at the bridge.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry I came down here.
Well, we're almost out.
Yeah, just over the next hill, I'm sure. Four more miles. I see a stop sign.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yeah, see, this was all trees.
Yep, this was.
There are pine trees and did you see that tree back in there where it looks like all the bark is gone off of it? Right there. Look.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Huh. It's still growing too.
Well, it's green at the top.
Maybe it shed its bark to grow another ring. I don't know. We've had a terrible problem with gypsy moths up here and other bugs that are coming in and killing the pine trees.
I don't know if you can see this, but the bank on the side is probably 3 foot higher than on the bank on the right side, 3 foot higher than the hole on the left side from going around this
curve.
hot rodding.
Notice, what does that say?
It says it's snowmobile trail from December 1st, I
to
think.
March 20th.
March 31st.
Groom Snowmobile Trail, December 1st to March 31st.
Yep.
That goes
You got it.
That goes into Lewiston, Gaylord.
Mackinac Bridge.
No, it
All aboard.
doesn't go to Mackinac Bridge.
Sure does. When you get to Gaylord, you just keep going north.
Okay, if you say so. Well, yeah, I guess it would.
I would think it's probably the best route to go that way. Now I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that if you get to the Mackinac Bridge that there's people up there that will take you across it.
Yep, transport, yeah. Plus, at a certain time of the season, you can go across the ice to Mackinac Island.
From St. Ignace,
From St. Ignace.
not from Mackinac.
Okay. So you gotta wait till you hear that the ice bridge is open. And you'll know the ice bridge is because the locals ask for pine trees that you are gonna throw away, like your Christmas tree. They take all these Christmas trees people have donated, and they mark the trail on both sides going across the ice.
I don't think it opens every year. It only had to have really good ice in order for that ice bridge to open.
It was open last year, but just for a very short time. So there's people out there that know what they're doing, testing the ice all the time.
Yeah, but it's not unusual for snowmobiles to be lost through the ice either.
I think one did fall in last year.
So we're just making a circle around from our house by way of the road and by way of the snowmobile trail. So we're on the road now. We'll end at our driveway, which we drove past on the way to the snowmobile trail. So that's assuming the camera's still taking pictures, which, since I don't see a picture on it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that video would be way too long to monkey with anyway, but
This is the bar on the right here, and in the wintertime, all this parking area, all this grass is filled with snowmobiles. They used to park across here too, behind this, well, where...
They'll be able to do that this year since they took the chain link fence down.
Yeah, they used to park there, and then someone bought it, put a fence up, because they were going to build up a storage place, and that didn't work out, so it was bought by the township, and now it's going to be a park.
Okay, we're home. Should have looked at my odometer to see how far it is around there, but I'd say 5 or 6 miles.